Learning data structures is hard. Or is it? Today, I'm going to prove it to you that learning data structures is not that hard as you think of it. Today, I'm going to show you how you can use and build a stack. Now, if you do like these type of videos and you do like learning about data structures, go ahead and give this video a like, because if I get 50 likes in the next 3 days of the publishing of this video, I will add another data structure to the list, and that is linked list. So without further ado, let's get into data structures, and we are going to talk about today about stacks. One of the easiest data structures that you can learn today is a stack. Today we are going to create a stack in Swift, and we are going to implement it into a SWIFTUI app. Before we dive into the code, let me just remind you about Dev Factory. It is at rebeloper.com/mentoring, where I can teach you a lot about SWIFTUI, Swift. Go ahead and check it out. It will be a 60-minute Zoom call, one-on-one Zoom call with me. Go ahead and check out rebeloper.com/mentoring. This video is sponsored by WebView Gold. With WebView Gold, you can convert your web app or website into apps for iOS and Android. It just works. Download the Xcode project, insert your website, and you're done. No coding required. Optionally, you can take advantage of their many customization options like push notifications, in-app purchases, ads, and many more. Save 25% with their back-to-school sale. Link is in the description. Now, let's get back to the video. So let's just talk about the stack data structure. What I did is created a basic content view for our app, and it has this empty stack text on the top. It has a divider and two buttons inside the horizontal stack, and then we are going to add in the stack's description. Pretty straightforward. So let's just jump right into creating our own stack. So let's create a new file, and it will be a Swift file. Let's name it stack, and let's create that. Okay, so before we dive into the code, let me just talk a bit about what a stack actually is. Think about a stack of pancakes, or a stack of books, or a stack of cards, a deck of cards. Each element is on top of each other. Now, the interesting part with the stack is that the stack is a LIFO data structure. That means last in, first out. So LIFO, whatever, last in, first out data structure. This means that whenever we are putting a new element on top of the stack, that will be available. And when we are removing an element from that array, that stack, we are removing the topmost. So putting on a new stack element on the top and then removing it from the top. Also, we can check if this is empty, and we may pick the first element only. This is the interesting part. We cannot, well, this is kind of a rule. It's kind of forcing us to just use the first element, like the top, and we are picking that top element only. Think of a good stack example is the navigation view. So a navigation view is actually a stack of views. You are only seeing or using the top one, and you are always picking that top view. So that's also available in UIKit, like UI View Controller has also a navigation stack. So let's create our very own stack. So of course we have to have a foundation important, and let's have it as universal. So we could just have a stack of strings, ints, but I'm going to use an element for that. So we can just use any type of struct. So let's create our struct here, and it will be named stack. Okay, and we are going to use element right over here. So what do we need inside a stack? Well, we need some sort of a storage which will store all the elements, and we shouldn't be able to get access to that storage. We are going to get access to the top element with the pick function, but that's why we want to have this set as a private var storage, and this will be an array of elements. Yes, this is actually an array, a special kind of array. So what we want to do here, because this is private, we might want to initialize it. Well, we have to initialize it actually because that is private. And we are going to initialize it like so. So elements of type element array, and what we're going to do here is go storage equals elements. Okay, that's perfectly fine. What I do want to add in here is another type of initialization, and I will just add that as an extension. So here we want to add in actually an array. Now I want to have an initializer as an array literal. So let me just type that out. It's pretty straightforward. Let's just have this extension of the stack and custom string convertible. There we go. And this will be an array. So again, init array literal. Okay, and elements and element 3 dots. That's an array literal. Maybe we want to just add only one element, and then we just, well, actually the first element, and then we don't have to add those square brackets for the array implementation actually. And then again, storage equals storage, elements. Okay, so that's our two initializers. And let's see. Oh, it's expressible by array. Sorry, expressible by array literal. Yeah, the custom string convertible should be the description. So let's add that in there since I have already talked about that. So extension stack and then custom string convertible. Okay, now this will be our description. So var description, and we are going to add in this kind of an array. I don't know if you knew this. If you just add these 3 codes and in center of those 3, like 6 codes, 3 and 3, we can add new lined text. So what I'm going to do here is just add top, and then let's just have here kind of the bottom, and then let's have some sort of map of our storage. So storage, we need that right over there. So storage dot, we want to map that, and let's see, I'm going to remove this. I'm just going to type that out. It's much easier. So what we want to do is just grab the element. So $0, that's actually one of the elements in the storage, and we want to reverse that. So reversed, let's just go right over here and reversed, and then joined by a separator of a new line. So dot joined by separator, and this is actually a new line. And basically that's it. This is how we are going to have that description. And we can just go back into the content view, and as you can see, the stack has a description. We are going to add that later on. Okay, so let's talk about the stacks. So this is how we create a stack with a default value or values. So with the array literal, we can just have one value, or we can have, well, of course, we may have more elements right over here with an array literal, but here with the elements, we can have default values as an array. Okay, that's our storage, but currently the storage is private, so we cannot access it. So let's just add in here some functions that will push, pop, peek and check if the stack is empty. These are the 4 things that stack should do. So the push should be mutating because we are going to change the storage. So this is a mutating func, and that is push and underscore element. So that will be an element, and we are going to just go storage dot append element. Now that wasn't too hard, right? So this will be really fun. Next up is the popping. So whenever we want to pop the topmost element, so we are going to go with a mutating function again, and that is pop. And we don't need properties here because we are just going to pop. And we are getting here back an optional element, and you will see why in just a second. So we are going to go storage dot pop last, and as you can see, the pop last is returning back an actual optional element. So this is coming from an array, but most probably you don't want to use this element, so we are going to mark it as the discardable result at discardable result. This means that the pop function you may or you may not use the return of this function. So that's our discardable result. It's really handy. Okay. Next up is the peek. So we want to take a look at the topmost element. So again, a func, and it's called peek, and that is going to return us back an optional element, because if the storage is empty, of course, then it will return nil. So what we want to have here is storage dot last, and as you can see, the last element is also an optional. And finally is this empty, and that is a property is empty. Let's have this as a boolean, and if we peek and we get back a nil, then the actual stack is empty. So this will return peek equals nil. So if this is nil, it will return true. If this is not nil, the peek is not nil, then this will return false. And we are done with our stack. How easy was that? Now let's have a really nice example of how the stacks work, because this is okay. We have our storage, we can push, we can pop, we can peek, and we can check if this is empty. But how do we actually can use this? Well, in a fairly simple example. So let's go to the content view, and as you can see, I have already set some things up, and I will just build and run this till I explain what I actually want to do here. Well, I want to have a stack of int values, and I'm just going to add in their random values, or let's just go by, first of all, by incrementing the values, and then I want to pop them as they go. So basically this is our starter project. Okay, so as usual, SWIFTUI project, we want to create first our content view model. Okay, let's create a new file, Swift file, content view model. And this content view model, it will be a really simple content view model. Again, it will be a class of content view model, and it adheres to observable object. And here I'm just going to create our stack, which will be published. So whenever it changes, it will notify our content view. So add published var stack, and here goes the really interesting part. So here we have our stack, and we can just add it like int and then have it like so. So this is also fine, but we can also have it as, let's say we have a 0 value, then we don't have to consider adding the stack type. But because this is a simple published variable and we want no values inside the stack, I will just revert that. This is the simplest way to do that. Okay, and right over here for the int, we can add any type of element, by the way. Okay, let's go back to the content view and grab access to this content view model at state object private var view model equals our content view model. Okay, so now we will be able to grab access all our view models. So first of all, let's see how will we actually add the topmost element into our text here instead of empty stack. So this will be a little bit complicated. I will just type this out because there will be a ternary operator. So if the view model is, if the stack is empty, then we want to print out for the text empty stack. Otherwise, we want to peek at the topmost small element, of course. So let's just type it out. First of all, view model dot stack dot is empty. There we go, question mark. Now, if this is empty, we want to just type out here empty stack. Otherwise, we want to peek at the view models, the stack, view model dot stack dot peek. And this will return an optional, but in this case, we can safely bang that out because we do know that it is not empty. So it will not return nil at all. So yeah, first of all, let's just hit Command R so we can see that empty stack is displayed as the text. That's great. Okay, so let's just add a new value right over here. So under the pop, right, sorry, not pop, but under the push, we want to go view model dot stack dot push. And as you can see, we may push an int value. So currently I'm just going to peek at the topmost element. Of course, yeah, that's what peek means. And then I will just increment it by 1. So let's just have this view model dot stack dot peek, and this is optional. So if there isn't any, let's just use 0 and let's increment it by 1. Okay, so let's build and run and see how this looks like. So let's just tap on push here. It just pushed 1, 2, 3, 4, and so forth. So let's just pop these, and that is the simplest way to do this. Under the action of our pop button, we just go view model dot stack dot pop. Hit Command R to build and run again, and now we can just push and then we can pop. It's really, really nice. How awesome is that? Okay, but I would like you to go even further and use the description. So let's just use the description that we already created, and I'm just going to comment this out and just use the view model dot stack dot description. And now you will see the description, then the actual stack that is underneath. Of course, you cannot peek this, but yeah, let's just see. Let's just push. There we go. We just pushed 1, and then we're pushing 2. As you can see, it's on top of 1, 3, 4, 5, and we can pop easily as that. And once we get to the empty value, we just print out empty stack for our text. Okay, so yeah, this is nice. Let me just show you how you can just add in random values. So this with a plus button, a +1. It's a little bit much too easier. So we just go again, view model dot stack dot push, and now for the element, I'm just going to go int dot random, and the range would be between 1 and let's say 100. So now we can just see that a random number will be selected, 31, 71, 20, and so forth. And if we pop, now we are going to pop the 57, popping 20, popping 71, and finally popping 31. And that is stack. It's really, really nice to have in your data structure arsenals. Now, if you do like these type of videos, go ahead and check out rebeloper.com/mentoring, where I can teach you a one-on-one Zoom call, anything that you want to learn about, for example, data structures or SWIFTUI or Swift for that matter. Also, I can just bug hunt your code if you have any issues with that. Again, it's at rebeloper.com/mentoring. Stacks can be used in a variety of ways. And now you know how to build one for your own convenience and of course use it in the SWIFTUI app. Now if you do like these type of videos, go ahead and make sure that you hit subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. Don't forget about the 50 likes that I want for the next video to come out about the linked list. And make sure to hit that notification bell while you are there so you get notified of these videos. Check them out. They are really, really cool. And as usual, I will see you in the next one.